All right.
Oh, we're
Tweet
live. Oh,
sent. Yeah, we're live, man. We're already going. There's no time
well,
to waste.
forget that bathroom break.
Oh, do you want to? I'm so
No, no,
sorry.
it is okay because actually that'll keep me from talking about this for 4 or 5 hours. So
Oh God, I'm so sorry.
it
I
is
can
fine. It
I
is
can
fine.
wait.
It is fine. No, no, no. It's going to increase the tension.
Oh no.
All right. We are the youth of the nation.
Doing it live. All right.
Indeed.
Um, yep. Thank you, TV. All right. Yeah, let's just get
All right.
right. There's no reason to dilly dally. Let's just start
Okay, let's do this.
the thingamajig. Boop.
From the creators of the video game podcast, Famicom Dojo,
You still make that?
and the enthusiastic support of the Nerd and Tie Network,
Yeah, do whatever you want.
comes a podcast about the single most important question in human history.
What is the meaning of life?
Will I ever find love?
Can God create a rock so big even Pumpkin Man cannot
How
lift
can
it?
I find fulfillment?
What happens after you
Does this
die?
look infected to
Is there
you?
such a thing as karma or fate?
What is true? Have you guys seen my keys?
What should I be watching on TV? Every episode of Two Boobs Watch the Tube, Vinnk and his best bra, Sean Orange, take a shallow dive into a current or retro TV show. Will they love it?
I guess.
Will they hate it?
No one.
Will they fight about it?
No one cares.
Did Sean even watch it?
No,
Is Vinnk still listening as Sean talks about Transformers?
definitely not.
These questions and more will be answered on Two Boobs Watch the Tube.
Oh yeah.
Here we go. I'm excited for this one. I've been since we for about a year now,
A
maybe.
year? Oh, I guess.
Maybe. Like from when I first started watching it, I'm like, we have to talk about this show. So but anyway, let's
All
get
right.
started.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm Vinnk,
Hey, I'm Sean.
and we are Two Boobs watching the tube.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
It,
because
it's
that's our new opening.
it's a good.
I'm excited. I'm excited about this one. But first,
All right.
before we do that,
Yeah,
Sean, why don't you
yeah.
tell me what you watch, what you really, really watch?
Okay. Per your recommendation, I have
Yeah.
watched the Chip and Dale movie.
Oh, do you
I
agree with me?
I do. I just wish there'd been more explicit connection. Like, did they ever build that freeway? Let's just assume yes.
Why would they build that when you can take the red car for a nickel? Okay.
I feel so bad because they
yeah.
had the ugly Sonic. Is that what they
Yeah.
called him? What was
Old,
yeah, like
what old Sonic or ugly? Maybe it was ugly. I don't
yeah,
know.
I just it makes me feel so bad. But
It was. I mean, it was not. The movie was. It will not age well because it's so incredibly meta and
absolutely.
like it's not a great movie, but it was a fun movie
Yeah.
for the time that it is right now. But like rewatching it in 10 years is going to feel painful,
Yeah.
and that's
Uh,
fine, I guess. That's fine, I guess. Anyway, that's okay.
I also watched been watching a lot of Disney stuff. I finished Ms. Marvel and Moon Knight.
Oh, okay.
Very, very different type things. I'm getting a little tired of the Marvel TV shows, though. I think I'll enjoy Loki season 2 better than I've enjoyed. I mean, I also watched Hawkeye too. That was a
Okay.
while ago, but I don't know. I tried to watch Andor, and I
I'm
can't focus on
yeah.
it. Like,
I'm burnt out on superheroes.
yeah,
I don't care anymore. It seems like any movie now is like it's either like a Disney musical, a superhero movie, or something with The Rock in it.
oh boy,
like, is there anything else? Like, I don't. There's plenty of indie movies still being made, but you know what I mean? It just feels
Mm.
like we've reached like a stagnation point. I don't know. It just doesn't. I don't know.
The last thing I'll mention is the new Quantum Leap, which, as of
Sure.
recording this, premiered a week ago, and there's a new episode tomorrow.
I really want to
But
watch that. I got to find a way to watch that.
I wish there was some way I could get you to watch it. Maybe we'll get lucky and have it like be a free thing for at least the first episode.
Sometimes they do. Yeah. I'll figure it out. I mean, I'm subscribed to a lot of services, maybe through a variety, like depending on how it does, I'm sure one of the Japanese services will pick it up because Quantum Leap was translated into Japanese. So I think someone will grab it, but it's just with rights, who knows who it's going to be,
Right. Yeah, by the time this episode comes out on the audio podcast, I think it'll be like 4 or 5 episodes in.
Okay.
But I guess suffice to say right now that like it's very much a sequel series.
Good.
And despite that they have a new mix of characters, there's like a whole ensemble now.
Yeah.
I think it's got promise. So
okay,
I wanted
good.
to do like a whole video review about it, and I just don't have the time for that kind of thing. So I rambled about it during one of the Pile of Shame Live videos I did recently, and that should be good enough.
Perfect.
So what about you? What have you been watching?
Upon your suggestion, I've been watching For All Mankind.
Ooh, how's that going? Not so good.
Not super far. I'm not super far into it, and I don't know. It's I can see the premise, but right now everyone's so moody. Do you know what I mean? It's like I'm trying to find the likable character right now, and I haven't gotten there yet. You know what I mean?
How many episodes are you in?
I'm on the second episode right now, so I'm not super far, and knowing because I was a space nerd, so like. Right. And I wonder how much of that people really would need to come in because, like, okay, they're talking about the Apollo 10 mission quite a bit, and they're like talking about Snoopy and things like that. And I'm like, they never explicitly talk about the fact that was and I'm like, anyone who's not a space nerd, are they even getting that reference? Like, or does it? Maybe it doesn't matter. Actually, maybe it doesn't matter. But like,
right?
And they're referring to. I mean, I guess they give enough information. I guess most people are familiar with like Apollo 1 and things like that.
Sure. Well, I mean, if you've watched the right stuff,
is it Gemini?
You're more familiar with it.
Is it Gemini or Gemini?
At the time, they pronounced it Gemini.
Oh, they did. Okay. Okay, because I was.
If you watch the right stuff, there's the Mercury missions, the Gemini missions. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yep,
okay. Because I was just like, okay, that makes sense. Because I'm like,
it's a footnote at the end of the movie, but like some of the characters from the right stuff died in the Apollo 1 module fire.
Yeah.
So
okay. Anyway, Right Stuff is a good movie. Didn't that have Jeff Goldblum in it?
You're thinking of Apollo 13.
No, I'm not. But Apollo 13 also mentions Apollo 1.
Oh, not Jeff Goldblum. Who am I thinking of? I'm thinking of a different actor, Gary Sinise. Whoops, sorry.
Okay.
I don't think Jeff Goldblum was in that. No.
We may be getting off topic, but anyway, I watched The Right Stuff a long time ago, and I quite enjoyed it. Enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I'll just say that there are characters you haven't met yet that will make the show's trajectory make more sense.
Okay, because I mean, pilots are hard. Pilots are like pilots are a first date. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like you gotta sell yourself enough to like make it, but you introduce a whole bunch of characters right away. But like, I'm just watching like guy being a bad dad, fighting with his wife. Reporter coming in, him.
It's the 60s, like, it's like a Mad Men rehash. It's fine.
It's just like, and then there was a speech at the beginning where they're talking about like, if we're able to land man on the moon right now, we will continue this program. If not, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I could tell that it was supposed to be like a big speech that was supposed to be super, super inspiring, but and the music was definitely pointing that way, and it was definitely, but I was like, it's not that great of a speech. You know, so like,
Yeah.
so anyway, I'm gonna continue with it. I'm gonna continue with it because I do want to see where this goes. But and I've heard that it's one of those series where the second season's better than the first as well. So
Agreed. Yeah, there are 3 seasons of this right now on Apple TV Plus for those who are curious.
Yep.
So you have
Yep.
you have 30 episodes of the show you can watch if you want to.
all right, but anyway, let's move on to the main event.
Where's the beef?
All right. Ah, yes, that's what we are calling this segment. This was a show that surprised me how much I enjoyed it.
What
The
show
show
is
where,
it?
well, let's see.
As if I don't know.
I would hope you know. You like are advertising these things. This show is, let's see. I will say it's Twin Peaks meets X-Files meets what would be a cartoon to put into there? The Simpsons. I don't know. Bob's Burgers. I don't know.
Burgers. Okay. Yeah, that's what's in my
Stahl,
notes.
Kristen
It's Twin
Stahl
Peaks
connections. Yeah.
for kids.
Yeah.
Kristen Shaw is everywhere, but of course this show came out in 2012 originally, so that was right around the time where I was seeing her in a lot of stuff. Like I originally saw her in live action anyway, in Flight of the Conchords, which was like 2007, 2009.
Yeah, that's around the time she was in 30 Rock, as well. But I know her from earlier for some of her stand-up work, which was referenced on an episode of Radio Lab about loops. There's a classic stand-up thing where they have a guy who starts singing, Christian Stahl is a horse, Christian Stahl is a horse, something, 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 Christian Stahl is a horse, and she's galloping around the stage. And then as soon as it's done, and like the audience claps because it's dumb, you know, and then immediately he does it again. Oh, Christian Stahl is a... and she continues doing it. And they just see how long they can keep it going, because after they've been doing it for 5 minutes, the audience is angry because it's continued to go on and there's nothing new coming. And then the audience starts liking it again because it's gone on so long. It starts to be funny again. And then the audience is mad again. They're throwing stuff. They're super mad. And then it's funny again. Because it's so absurd that it's still going on. And it's not even really a joke. Whatever. But she was being interviewed on this show, and she's like, we kept it going for almost an hour once.
God.
And I'm like, oh, that's funny. But like, because she was kind of a... This is probably the most innocent role she's ever done, to tell you the truth. What else was she on? She was on Last Man on Earth, right?
Yep, for 4 seasons. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah,
I would definitely call her an innocent in that show. Not in the same way, of course.
And she was on The Mysterious Benedict Society.
I don't know that one.
It's a kid's show, but it's I think it's on Disney Plus, maybe Netflix. I don't know. If you have kids who can watch a episodic television program, enjoyed something like Lemony Snicket, Series of Unfortunate Events.
Oh, I have
something
not
like
shown that. No, that's too heartbreaking to show them. No.
Well, maybe not that, but I mean, that's the kind of that vibe. Like, it's kind of funny. It's kind of dark. It's You should watch it. It's worth. And Christian Stahl is fantastic in it. And the other one is the guy who played Buster from Arrested Development. What's his name?
I don't.
Can't remember.
I'm looking at the cast right now. I don't see him in here. I'm looking it up because I don't actually know who the cast was, except Alex Hirsch was the guy who created as Grunkle Stan.
That's right.
Jason Ritter plays Dipper, which is Mabel's brother. Mabel being played by Kristen Shaw. Jennifer Coolidge is Lazy Susan, which I didn't catch. I probably should have though.
Wow.
who else? Linda Cardellini is Wendy. So it's funny that I mentioned all that
Yep.
Disney stuff
Yep.
because she
Yep. Yep.
plays Hawkeye's wife,
Yep.
whose name escapes me, even though it's like on the phone, and it's like the emotional moment from one of the Avengers. Anyway,
Okay. We might be getting ahead of ourselves.
I'm so sorry.
I
Yes,
definitely should have
Yes.
shouldn't have gone down that rabbit hole. The
Okay,
show we're
okay.
talking about is Gravity Falls.
Gravity Falls.
Gravity
So
Falls.
it's can I give my synopsis? I got this.
Yes.
It's going to be
Okay.
great.
Tell
Okay.
us about Gravity Falls.
Okay, so twins Dipper and Mabel Pines are spending the summer, the longest and most interesting summer of their lives because it lasted for 4 years, in our time, with their great Uncle Stan, aka Grunkle Stan, in this backwater, Oregon town, that is known for its weirdness, the occult stuff. The kitschy Bigfoot. This stuff isn't real kind of thing.
Yep.
Except it seems like it's all real. All of it's real, all the time, and it's amazing.
Yep.
That's the whole thing.
That's pretty good. I like it. I like it. I like that. It's I have no idea how they were able to even sell this show, but it's
Right?
it's basically
it's
like
not really a kids show, is it?
it's not super much a kid show, and it's all about like roadside attractions, which I don't know if young people even get
Right.
at this point.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
Have
like
you
that
been
was
to
a
Wall
part,
Drug? I haven't been to Wall Drug.
but like it was a part of my growing up to go to Ripley's Believe It or Not, which is very close to this. House on the Rock, which is, Alex Jordan was basically Grunkle Stan, in life, So for anyone who doesn't know House on the Rock, read American Gods. It's worth a
Or
read
just
through.
go there sometime.
Just go there. Yeah.
It's been 9 years since we went with our families. Can you believe
No.
that? I
Oh
know.
my goodness, has it?
2013.
We never put those
Yeah.
videos up, did we?
The audio ended up not being super great
Yeah.
for a lot of them. But
we could
but
redub
I
it.
want to bring them back.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
want to bring the kids back
Yeah.
and experience that, because I think my oldest was like a year and a half at the time. He slept
My
through most
daughter
of it.
was scared of dark places and big
Mm.
sounds at the time, so we decided not even to take her, but she would be so into it now. She would be so into it. Anyway, Gravity Falls is a show about two twins, and who actually like each other. They fight, of course, like a real, like real siblings do, but like the show has a tremendous amount of heart. The characters evolve throughout the show. One of the things we talked about very early when you were talking was you weren't sure how you felt about one of the main characters because he seemed like he was always pining after another character. And I
Yeah.
said, just keep watching because
Okay.
it won't go unnoticed, in the
Okay,
show.
yeah.
And it was, Gravity Falls is also what has given me my most popular tweet ever.
Oh.
My daughter wanted a Gravity Falls themed birthday party, so we put one together, and I made a Bill Cipher. Bill Cipher's the big bad of the
That's
show, pinata, and I posted it, and it got like 20,000 likes or something like that, compared to my usual posts, which get 4. So. And it also got a comment from the creator of Gravity Falls, Alex Hirsch, who said, "I hope it's filled with blood." Whoa! And that just made my day, and really, and I'm still getting retweets and things from that.
Oh,
that
that's
tweet.
awesome.
But
Well, yeah, now I know who Bill Cipher is, and I'm terrified
Yes.
that your children actually wanted and cared about that, and I'm just
oh yeah, my son's a big fan,
Oh,
and like another,
God.
I got a lot of other comments like, "Is it filled with deer teeth or whatever?" And you wouldn't get that at the time, But like, it's
do
yeah.
you know what freaks me out about him?
What?
Is that like I meant to look it up because the box with it in there is like just like 10 feet away from me. But
Sure.
he reminds me of a character that I drew when I was a kid.
Oh yeah.
Called Tutoa. It's also a triangle man, very scary. Maybe it's just like some primal thing in the human subconscious. I don't know.
I mean, Bill Cipher is based upon the all-seeing eye pyramid on the back of a dollar bill.
Yep.
Bill Cipher.
Yep.
And he was originally supposed to be green, but they thought he looked like a leaf, so they made him yellow.
They made him gold. Yeah.
But yeah. Reality is a hologram. Buy gold. Yeah. Like, crazy. It's funny how stupid you all are. Like, he's a fantastic villain.
He's the Mr. Mixus-Pitalik of this show. Superman reference.
He's completely amoral, totally insane, and funny. It's just anyway, Gravity Falls. So I picked up the box set recently because it's my last chance to. Shout Factory, which you might know from Mystery Science Theater 3000 revivals and things like that.
Yeah. Also Transformers back in the day. Yep.
Basically, they pick up shows that nobody wants to do physical media of and put together really nice box sets and things like that because, and they kind of save, shows that are popular with fandom or whatever, and like release obscure relics of, and that's the thing. Disney didn't want to do a box set for Gravity Falls, and Shout Factory made a deal with them to do it, but their time is over. So once these sell out, they're gone.
That's it.
And so Alex Hirsch posted that on his feed, and I'm like, oh, I don't have it physically. And now, remember I said that in the last podcast that this would come back. Yeah. I don't trust anything streaming anymore. That it will survive. Like when HBO pulled all kinds of shows, some of those don't exist in any other way. They have never, other than pirated copies, they don't exist on anything else. Whole shows no longer exist other than pirated copies. Okay. Because they never got physical releases, and they've been removed from the service. Not just not making new episodes, but deleting all the old episodes as well. So I'm like, I overpaid for this to get to Japan, but like Amazon was listing, we have 2 copies left, and I'm like, okay, well, one of them is going to be mine. So, dang. And I don't buy shows physical media much anymore. I really don't.
Sure.
As I say that with my Quantum Leap box set behind me. Okay, but for the most part, but for the most part, but now I'm thinking of getting more into that, because I don't. You kind of thought that the streaming service was a good way for a show to kind of survive forever. But I don't know, especially something like Gravity Falls, which has had kind of a weird history. Okay.
Yeah, it's on Disney Plus now, but it was originally on the Disney Channel. Then it was like on Disney
XD, something like that. And the fact that this got made at all is just ridiculous. The premise is so weird. The idea, like Alex Hirsch was just like out of college, and he got together with a bunch of writers, including Matt Chapman, who wrote a lot of my favorite episodes. You might know him as the voice and creator of Strong Bad. And he plays some minor characters. Apparently he left the show before the end, but he had already written some of the final episodes. I no idea. I'm not sure how that all played out, but a good pedigree for me, for people who are kind of weird, kind of fun. Alex Hirsch seems to be into a lot of the things that I was into.
Okay.
One of his proposals to Disney that got rejected was he wanted to do an episode that had giants in it, and he was going to get John Linnell and John Flansburgh to voice them. So then they actually would be giants, not just might be giants.
And they rejected it, huh?
Well, yeah, because it's too obscure.
Well,
It's like
obviously.
I mean, obviously, because it's too out there. Like, but then again, they did get Larry King to voice his own wax head, so
I didn't realize that was actually him, because like I'm too used to that gag from Futurama. It's just like, oh yeah, whatever. But like,
No.
oh no, okay, it's actually Larry King. Awesome.
Oh, some amazing cameos in there. Weird Al Yankovic did a cameo. The guy from Parks and Rec. What? Oh my! Why can't I remember
Which one?
anybody's name?
Which one?
Your mustachioed guy.
Oh, yeah, him. You know what show I haven't mentioned yet that I watched all of that I love and we should probably talk about
What?
if you can watch it. A League of Their Own.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
It's very good, but it's also incredibly gay, which isn't a bad thing. Just be ready for it.
Really?
Oh yes.
Okay. That's fine.
It has
That's
It has amazing. It has Abby. Oh God.
Yeah.
Hold on. Abby Jacobson from Broad City is like the creator.
Yeah.
And she's like one of the main characters. Darcy
no,
Carden
no.
from
No, it's okay. Stop. You had me at incredibly gay.
okay.
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 And the
There's
guy's
just lots
name is
of people in it.
yeah.
Go
The
ahead,
guy's
go
name
ahead.
is Rick Offerman. Rick Offerman. He plays one of
Rick
the
or Nick?
Rick. Oh, Nick. Oh, sorry, Nick.
it's
Nick
Nick.
Offerman. Nick Offerman, who played Ron Swanson on Parks and Rec,
Thank
is
you. Yeah.
one of the FBI, CIA, FBI agents or whatever in the show.
Okay.
I mean, there's a lot of really cool voice cameos and things like that in the show. The premise starts off. I think season 1 is very much like a monster of the month, monster of the week type of show.
Yep.
Like Dipper and his sister Mabel find a mysterious book, and it talks about all kinds of crazy creatures around this town of Gravity Falls. And you meet the people of Gravity Falls, who are all weird and have different personalities.
So weird. So wonderful.
Yeah. And the first few episodes are all, they meet a different type of monster, but there's an ongoing story of trying to figure out who wrote these journals, trying to figure out some bigger mysteries. And I had watched an episode of Gravity Falls on a flight to the United States. It was the Quest for Manliness one, the one where Dipper's trying to prove the Manitars.
Oh God.
So I watched it with no context. And I thought it was funny. When I was watching it. I didn't turn it off. You know what I mean? But I didn't know what the heck Grunkle Stan was all about. It was
right.
And he seemed very like a cruel character. You know, so like I didn't really get the heart of it. It was a bad episode to watch as a standalone, but it was funny. It was a funny episode, but I'm like, this is super not for kids, you know, like
it felt like an episode of Ren and Stimpy, to be perfectly honest.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Yes. And the whole Grunkle thing kind of connected with the show the creator of Ren and Stimpy did after Ren and Stimpy, The Brothers Grunt.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, is it them? You know, I was kind of like, so I watched that, and then I didn't watch any for a long time, but I kept hearing about it. People kept talking about it. And like, people talk about a lot of things that I don't like. You know what I mean? People go on and on about things that I don't care for. But, you know, I kept hearing about this, and, you know, there was a nice pedigree with some of the creators, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to give it another chance now that it was on. I was thinking of buying the DVDs, but I'm like, I don't know if I would like it enough. But then I got Disney Plus, and it was there, and I'm like, hey kids, you should watch this. But I was it was on in the background and they were watching and they were enjoying it, but I wasn't really paying attention to it until I sat down and I'm like, watching it with them for a little bit. And I'm like, oh my goodness, this is very clever.
I finally got into like I think my favorite episode in the first season that really got me to click with it was Double Dipper, where he finds a copy machine that can copy human beings.
Oh, the tragic paper jam one. Oh my goodness.
I know. It's this joke. It's like he's. I never seen Multiplicity, but I figured this is what Multiplicity was like.
Yeah.
It was like he needs to be in two places at once. And it's like, well, wait a minute. Well, now I need to like cover this thing. So he keeps making copies of himself until the paper jams.
That joke was also that joke was used also, and I don't know if before or after in Red Dwarf.
Okay.
One of the later seasons. So just
interesting. I don't know either.
Yeah. I don't know which one came first, but
I
doubt they were inspired by each other. Well, then again, they seem to be nerds, so it's possible. Yeah.
It's very possible. It seems like if you've watched freaking Pickle Rick and Morty, there we go. It feels like Mr. Meeseeks, but like less existential dread. Because these copies are done in by water and
yes.
It's
really gruesome, actually.
It is. How the last one ends up dying. Oh my god! Yeah. Just
in a kid show, it's just really like surprising in a kid show. Yeah.
But this is also where like the whole like Dipper likes Wendy thing really picked up, because that was the whole plot, was like he needs to be in two places at once so he can hang out with Wendy. Played by Linda Cardellini. Wendy, that's where I started to be like, oh, this is going to be
easily
a thing now?
Easily one of the best characters in the show in series 2.
Wendy is?
Yeah.
Yeah, she actually gets to be a person then.
In the first,
Dippers.
she has her moments in season 1, but she comes into her own as a character in season 2.
Yep, agreed.
But yeah, it's for me, I mean, there's a lot of series 1 can be just watched as completely standalone episodes. They are very much, but if you watch them knowing what to know, you'll find out that, did you know so the episode that really got to me was Time Traveler's Pig.
I was about to mention that one. I'm glad you did. Okay, go for it.
Time Traveler's Pig is an amazing take on the whole changing the future, butterfly effect type of thing. It's very clever how it's done, and you've got a character named, what is it, Blendon or something. I don't remember what his name is. And he's trying to find out what caused a time anomaly, which in the end is he caused it by going back to find out. But it provides a bit of an origin story for characters. It calls out Dipper's stalkerish behavior.
Very much.
It gives an origin story to Seuss. It introduces the wonderful character of Waddles, played later by Neil deGrasse Tyson.
That's
who is a pig.
Yeah, that's why I was called the Time Traveler's Pig, which is also funny because this is after I watched The Time Traveler's Wife, so I was very appreciative of these unintended parallels and the predestination paradox.
Predestination, I was just going to say, and it's just a wonderful show. But here's what's neat about it. That episode is like I don't know, it's pretty early,
it's like the first
7, 10,
like,
something like first couple. But then you watch the first couple episodes again, and you'll see that Blendon makes a cameo in every single episode.
Of course he does, because he's cleaning
as a background character, because he's
anomalies. Oh God.
Yeah.
Because they even show it in the episode, him cleaning things up, and I didn't even think to go back and be like, was he actually there? And apparently you're telling me he was.
And so unlike a lot of other shows that don't know exactly where they're going, there was watching interviews with Gravity Falls, they knew who had written the journals from the time they wrote the first
Sure.
episode.
Yep.
They had that. Details were not all there,
Right.
but the overall flow. So knowing that, so many things are set up. And that's why the show got such a cult following, because people would go frame by frame on these episodes, looking for
Okay.
hidden numbers, looking for messages. Bill Cipher iconography is in every episode.
See,
Secret, yeah,
I miss
Yeah.
this because there's like 20 episodes a season, and there's the
yes,
shorts.
that's right. That's right.
And like in order to like make sure I watched it on time, I like shotgunned the show.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I missed a lot of this stuff, and I certainly wasn't part of the conversations. Over the
Oh,
4
yeah.
years this actually ended up airing.
Well, there's secret messages in every episode.
Oh, God.
Okay, if you watch Gravity Falls, they've got that iconic theme song, which I love. I love the
Yes, it's a
imagery
very
there.
good theme song.
And then at the end, it's like, da 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 da, and then da 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 da, and then you hear the kind of
Yeah.
whisper.
Yeah.
Play that backwards, and it says 2 to the left, because the first code, the code from the early season, was that when you see those mixed up messages on like a lexicon chart or whatever, you'd turn the wheel 2 spaces, and then you can read the messages from the first couple episodes. But they changed the code as the series goes on. As people figured things out, they kept changing things.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
There were also hidden messages in the promos for the show.
This is how you connect with an audience. Oh my God.
And hints for how to figure out the things that were in promos that would play between other Disney programs. So they had I didn't know this until recently. In this box set, they have everything. They have all the
Okay.
promos. They have all the,
Okay.
but they had like a puppet of the crazy old man, Mr. McGucket or whatever. And it was like his conspiracy corner. And he's talking about all these crazy conspiracies, but a lot of them were actually hints on how to figure out.
I'm blowing my mind right now. I'm
I
so
know.
sorry I missed the boat on this. Like 2012 is when we
Yeah.
cut our cord. So
Yep,
I had no
exactly.
way of watching this show when it aired.
If I had my life to do over again, I would watch this as each episode came out and get a Reddit account. You know what I mean? Because
Oh God.
because they were figuring this out, and like Alex Hirsch was watching this happen
Right.
and going like, "Ooh, we got to make them more obscure," because they're figuring out too quick.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
yeah, there's like in Time Traveler's Pig, they're running through the market, and in the different stalls, there's a little code on each different stall that you've got to watch and put together, or whatever. That I didn't even notice them there, first of all. And if you do, then you've still got to figure out how to, there's a lot of steps along the way.
See, and I missed all this because like I
Yeah.
knew I had the whole show at my fingertips and just had to wait a few more
Yep.
days to get to season 2.
Yep.
Ah, God.
But anyway, but no, I don't think it really loses much to figure it out afterwards, though, because I watched the whole series as well.
Yeah. Well, now I
without
need to watch
knowing-
it again is what you're telling me. So
I have watched this series about 5 times now. Just because the first time I barely paid attention to it up until the end. The last 10 episodes I watched with rapt attention. But then I watched it again and I actually figured out what was going on, because I series 1 was kind of a blur. And then after I watched it, and then I watched it again, and my kids, it's their favorite show. So they're watching it constantly. It's always on television. And when I take the time to watch it, I almost always notice something if I'm looking for it.
okay.
Things in the background. The agents are in a lot of episodes in the
Sure.
background. I read the comic book that came out afterwards, which has all kinds of fun stuff. I still need to get Journal 3. They made a hardbound copy of Journal 3 that
Oh.
apparently the early editions of it reacted to blacklight.
Oh, wow. Holy crap.
Yeah, so it's like, But what I really like about the show is that it feels alive because things in this show, more than any other kids show I've seen, more have weight and consequence.
Right. Yes. Yes. There's absolute continuity here.
If a
Even
character picks up an object, it is acknowledged that they have that object and can bring it back in another episode.
yeah, yeah. Even if you don't like catch all the intricacies
Yep.
here, like
Yep.
there
Yep.
are
Yep. Yep.
absolutely consequences every single
Yeah.
time. And there are great callbacks.
Oh, wonderful
Um,
ones. The bottomless
what
pit.
bottomless pit. So that was so weird. Like ended up being a framing
Yep.
device for a bunch of these like
Yes.
weird short stories, which were funny to me because they're telling each
Yeah.
other the stories as they're falling in the bottomless pit, as
Yep.
if they all
Yep.
weren't there in the stories that they're telling.
I know. I know.
That's the normal amount of green lightning. So I wrote that down.
Well, like, okay, you know that like Stan's getting rid of mysterious things in the bottomless pit, and then in Mindscapers, you find out what it was. Like it's like, whoa, that joke took a long time.
Right.
Things that seem like throwaway jokes will come back. Oh, Mindscapers was an awesome episode. And I think that's what really gets at the heart of this is the conflict between Dipper and his uncle, who thinks that he doesn't like him, and you find out, you find the heart of the story,
Yeah.
through very interesting framing device. Like it's a show that's not afraid to do. Well, it's a show that does the things that in a lot of shows that I've really, really loved are willing to do, but usually those shows are made for adults.
Right.
Like, let's do a video game episode where the video game things come to life. That's fine. Other shows have done that.
Right.
But
I
kids
still
shows
liked it
don't
here.
usually do that.
Yeah, I loved it here.
Oh my car.
It has the aesthetics. It's clearly based on Street Fighter 2, but has the aesthetics of Scott Pilgrim. And
all right.
The fighter names are great, like Rumble McSkirmish.
Rumble McSkirmish. Okay, in the end, he does his special move, and you see that he has a kanji on his shirt. At the end of it, or whatever. And my kids laughed so hard because the kanji is fart. It's like someone took a Japanese class who was there and was like, I'm gonna do this. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's a joke for my children. And then that's, it's just, they're so. Seuss is such a wonderful character.
Seuss, I didn't think I was going to like Seuss, and I ended up loving Seuss. He is easily a favorite.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
My wisdom is both a blessing and a curse. I've started doing it. It amuses my children for me doing the Seuss voice, so I will talk like that for a while. Okay, kids, it's time to. Yeah. Okay, dudes, it's time to go to bed now. So put on your pajamas and did you take a bath? Yeah, that's me too. Me too. Well, not today, but the kids love it. Whatever. I had a fairly good Stanford impression as well for a while. I have to be in the mood though, and it takes a lot of volume. But anyway,
understood.
It's a really, really nice show that my kids love, but I wonder how much they actually understand it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, there are all kinds of little things that like I'm picking up on. Like as silly as the whole like Ramondo thing is, he comes up a lot, which I appreciate.
Yes.
There's like at the end there's like a kid that's like stuck in the pool drain that was there. It's just like there's a lot of weird dark stuff in there.
Like
immediately I realized the sheriffs were a couple. Like immediately I picked up on that.
Yeah.
They make it very explicit by the end, but it's like they are those two dudes are an item.
Yeah.
Like God, what else?
Dude, I just ate a guy. Like there's cannibalism. There's I mean, in that episode with the manitors, there's a guy who's sacrificed, and it's very clear he did not survive that. You know,
Yeah.
it's like,
yeah. You want to talk about toxic masculinity? There you go.
Oh,
it's
my
hilarious though. It's too
it's
funny.
really
Like you can't take
good.
it seriously.
Disco girl coming through. That girl is you. So many fun song parodies. How they parody Journey with "Don't Stop Maybelieve."
Mabel.
Oh my God, the zombie episode. That is so violent. It is so violent. What is it? Karaoke Spooktacular.
Trying to look this up because I mean notes in all the episodes.
Oh,
but
go
it's like
ahead.
it's like I don't have anything that's like a through line here. But oh God, like even the background characters.
Yes.
Who like what's the news guy who thinks he's a cat?
Oh my goodness.
What's his name?
Oh, I don't remember.
By the end of the series, he finally finds himself.
He
or rather,
finds himself,
he's on the road to finding himself. We should probably say.
Yes.
Like McGucket just seems like a one-off goof, and then there's more to his story.
That was surprising. I thought he'd just be like, I always thought he'd just be the guy, you know, and almost every character goes through some sort of change or evolution throughout the course of, all of the main characters, but even some of the minor characters. And almost everybody comes back at the end.
Right.
Which is very, very interesting. And also, I would like to say, hats off for characters not overstaying their welcome.
For sure.
For example, first episode is all about these gnomes. And one of the funniest gags for the first thing is that the gnomes barf rainbows.
Yeah. Sorry.
And it's never brought up again. Do you know what I mean? Like, like the gnomes make 2 more appearances, you know, throughout the show, but like they never, you know, they don't stick to. It's not a show that's all about catchphrases and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like the characters, unless it's purposely making fun of characters who have catchphrases, like Duck Detective. Oh.
One of my favorites in season 2 is the last Mabel corn, because the thing about puking rainbows reminded me.
Oh yeah.
Those jerk unicorns. I was getting into like such strong like Charlie going to Candy Mountain vibes.
Yep.
From those unicorns, and boy, I was not wrong. Like one of my favorite bits is like, so she's got these friends. Mabel has these friends Candy and Grenda, and like, I don't know why she thinks this, but like Candy's like, I hear if you like lick a unicorn's neck, like all your wishes come true or something. And then she's like later on, it's like, this is your chance, Candy. Lick the neck. Lick it. Your tongue's sticking out. Just dumb stuff like that. But it makes me think of Grenda too. It's like, is Grenda supposed to be a trans girl? I'm not sure.
It's never explicitly pointed out, but knowing the other moments of inclusion in the show, it wouldn't surprise me.
Right.
But at the same time, I don't think that it's necessary one way or the other. I really feel like
agreed.
That one, because they're kids, you know,
They're
and
kids,
I think that like if the audience sees that in the show, I think the creators would be all for that. And if the audience doesn't, I think that's fine. I think that one's purposely left to interpretation, and that's
I think like the most, I guess, important moment along that perception spectrum too is like only one time does anyone mention her voice, and it's Grunkle Stan, and it's a one-off, and she gets understandably upset. It's like, why would you say that? And then it never comes up again. Like
there was one other time during her first episode during the singing contest. You see Pacific and Northwest sing this really high song, and Grenda's like, I used to sound like that before my voice changed. So
that's what tipped me off. It's like, puberty?
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know. Yeah.
I love how boy crazy they are. I love that they're into boy bands.
Hilarious.
I love that the boy band is named several times. I love that they're grown in a lab, because that's the joke I always made about boy bands when I was a kid. And I love that members of several times were part of them were voiced by members of the Backstreet Boys.
Oh, I didn't even know that. That's amazing.
Or was it Backstreet Boys or NSYNC? I get that confused.
It doesn't matter. See, they're all clones. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? You're right. You're absolutely right. But like, you know, a lot of this is based off childhood memories, because Alex Hirsch has a twin sister, and you know, they're basing that off, you know, that kind of stuff. So it's there's so much to like in the show, and I controversially said, you know, Gravity Falls is the best cartoon, you know, the best children's cartoon in the last 10 years. And I know that there's a lot of other things out there, and I'm going to also consider that it's probably one of the best animated series in the last 10 years in general, including adult animation. Yeah.
Now that I know more, I think you probably aren't wrong, but like I think the first time you expressed that opinion to me, I think my immediate retort was, well, you clearly haven't seen Steven Universe.
Yes, that's what you wrote. That's what you wrote to me. And I mean, I can't, since I still haven't seen it, I can't relate exactly. But like, there's been some very good children's programming in the last few years. You know, there's been, you know, reboots of classic series that have been given, you know, but I can't find anything that touches the same way that Gravity Falls has. Because immediately after finishing it, I did a Google search for shows like Gravity Falls. And I found Amphibia, which was fine, and The Owl House, which was also pretty good, you know, but like nothing has really resonated the same way. And I think part of it is because Gravity Falls left you wanting more. Gravity Falls made only 2 seasons, spread over 4 years, and 40 episodes, and it's very obvious that they could have gone longer. But it was deliberately shortened so that it would take place over the course of one summer and have a specific arc. And frankly, I think that's why it's going to be a cult classic in the future, because it's never going to overstay its way. You know, like so many shows start off so strong and they just run out of ideas and just keep going because they're popular. And it was popular. It was popular. It was not unpopular. The ratings were there for it to get another series. It wasn't canceled.
I've heard about it for years now. I think either near the end of its run or maybe slightly after it was over. Yeah. And I never tried to watch it. I guess I couldn't have until relatively recently anyway, but
I mean, that's the difference between shows that get canceled and shows that conclude. I mean, there was no Save Gravity Falls campaign because it reached it. Of course, everyone wants more of it right now, and there's been the extension of it with the comic, which they did in a clever way, which was just interludal, like stories in the middle of other stories. I thought that was good, and one that was a backstory of Stan, which I thought was really interesting.
Very good.
So they told it in a way that didn't interfere with what the show was doing. But I mean, people are if you go on the internet, there's a million people wanting a series 3, but like, it might be that it's best to not. I'm a big fan of Futurama, but I have mixed feelings about whether I want more.
For sure.
Yep. And there's a lot of shows like that it's like, oh man, I really want more of that show. And then when I actually get it, I'm like, no, I wanted more of the show that I don't want this. Right. I want more of what made me fall in love with it in the first place, so yeah, it's interesting. But I want to hear from people who are still watching, children's. I feel weird calling this a children's cartoon because I feel like children are going to miss a lot of it. But it's also a show that's appropriate for children to watch. Like there, other than a little bit of violence, there's nothing. I don't know. My 6-year-old is super into it. But I think he finds that Bill is a hero character, so that could be a problem later. That could be some therapy later on.
Oh no! Well, there's
really
lines like Pacifica Northwest's dad.
Yeah.
When Bill shows up, he's like, "I just like to say, as a rich capitalist, I welcome your tyrannical rule." I've been into a kids show, you guys.
Oh yeah. Oh, there's all kinds of things. Or when the two characters who are like 90s guys are contemplating their existence.
Yeah.
They're like, are we real now? And they're like, Jean-Paul Sartre said that. It's like, and they quote this whole thing, and they're like, whoa, dude, totally. This is like, very.
Oh God. Yeah, I
the claymation episode.
Yeah. Yep.
They just tried a lot of really.
Expect that.
No. Just a bunch of. Bunch of just fun stuff, yeah.
I think another show that like has a similar vibe to it without as much heart is Adventure Time.
Yeah, I've never seen enough of Adventure Time. I've just seen clips because again, it doesn't play on anything I have. Right. Because a lot of people keep talking about it, but like
It's very probable that the world of Adventure Time is actually like a post-apocalyptic hellscape, but they never really dive into it as far as I've seen. So
yeah. So I'm looking for a 3DS game for this show.
Oh, I have. I own it. Wait, this show, sorry, Gravity Falls or
Gravity Falls 3DS game?
Sorry, I thought you meant Adventure Time.
Oh, sorry. No. I'm trying to get the game because I've heard it's not that great of a game.
Okay.
But it is connected to the whole Gravity Falls verse. And my kids really want it, and it either never was on the eShop or was removed by the time I cared, because licensing. It's all licensing, So, because I would have bought it digitally, because I don't care about I'm fine with loose cartridge on this guy. I just want to. My kids want to play it. I'm not looking to collect it, but unfortunately, because it got printed in low numbers and Gravity Falls became popular after it was done,
right.
The game has skyrocketed in price, and I don't think I'm ever going to get it now. I don't want to pay $200 for it.
I don't blame you,
especially considering. From what I've heard, it's not that great of a game.
I was also going to say that you can't play it, but then I remembered you do have an American 3DS, and I should know.
I do.
Okay.
But anyway, I'm still looking for one. So if anybody's like, I have this game and I realize I don't like Gravity Falls. I don't know why I'm listening to your podcast, but I'm looking to get rid of it. I know a guy.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, we got it. We should probably wrap this up, but
We should. We should.
I enjoyed this recommendation. This is the first show that we've recommended to each other, I think, to watch. Well, I think I recommended Severance too, but
I was definitely gonna watch that one anyway. But yeah, that was. So do you have? So my homework right now, I'm watching For All Mankind.
Yep.
Have I given you homework?
Beyond this, no. This is the first homework I've completed. It was a good decision.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's see. What would be a good? Well, I'll tell you what. Those listening to this, why don't you pop into our Discord and tell us what you think would be a good homework assignment, and maybe it'd be cool if we both went into a show blind. Do you know what I mean? Because usually one of us is recommending to the other, but maybe we should watch something that neither of us has seen.
That's a good idea. Now, can I find a way to share this?
You trying to share the Discord link?
Yeah. Oh, God. I'm not used to using the web version of Discord.
Just a moment. I'll do it.
All right. Go for it. All right. Yeah. I mean, you're still watching my recommendation, so I don't feel like I can give you another one, but boy. I'm curious what people think of Time Traveler's Wife, because I guess it got panned pretty bad, but I like it better than the movie. Controversial statement. So the movie felt too saccharine to me.
I watched it on a plane, and I was like,
Well, I watched it again after forgetting everything about it except for the last scene, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were things that the show has more room to breathe, and so if you have a way of watching that, I'd recommend it. But
I'll see. But again, shows that get canceled in their first season because I go in going like, I hope it's not too good, because if it is, I'll be sad. You know what I mean? So.
All right. I mean, maybe you won't be sad about this one. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
Anyway.
Let's see. But that's why
All right.
it's kind of nice to watch a show that's done that didn't get canceled. You know what I mean? Like, I watched Gravity Falls when it was already done, so there wasn't that fear there. Yeah.
Okay. I upset Sinister Sally. Sorry, just by comparison to how the TV show is of Time Traveler's Wife, it's the characters are a little more rough around the edges, which I think I enjoyed more. But yeah, the movie made me cry too. Don't get me wrong. So, anyway. Okay.
I almost cried at the end of Gravity Falls.
Yeah, I definitely cried at the end of Steven Universe, though. So if you can find any way to watch that, that's my homework for you.
It's a lot of seasons, though, isn't it?
It is, but they're 15-minute episodes because they're, that Cartoon Network format of like you get like 2.5 hour block.
Steven's Universe is it its own thing without spin-offs, or is there spin-offs?
There's like a follow-up season after the last season of Steven Universe, but other than that.
Okay. But it's okay, because I know like Adventure Time also had like, what was it, like the regular show? Is that connected?
I don't.
No?
I think the art style's just.
Well,
the same.
it's different. Oh, okay. I don't know, but like, so many things these days, you got to watch companion pieces, and I don't have time for that.
Oh no, I agree with you. No.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, anyway, we don't have a like exit thing that we do.
No,
here,
we just play it and then it's over.
But fine. Let's do that then.
All right.
Thank you for making it to the end of another episode of Two Boobs Watch the Tube. If you would like to support these boobs, please subscribe, like us on iTunes, and tell a friend. If you want to give us a big push up, donate to the Famicom Dojo Patreon, found in the show notes. There you can also find info about sponsoring an episode, and also info about the other great shows, and one bad one, on the Nerd and Tie Network. Until next time, keep it classy.
Whoop.
All right. No, that's fine. We can